Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models, and this is Star Wars Build Your Own X-Wing from DeAgostini, issue number 25. This is 100 issues in this build, so this is a quarter of the way through. So we've built one wing already, and we're halfway through a second wing, so that's, it must be nearly halfway through the build. I don't know what they're doing yet, but there's more to build. There's obviously lots to go once we've done the wings. So in this issue we have some bits. We'll come back to those momentarily. First of all, we're going to have a look through the magazine. We're still on Rogue One. I don't know, at some point we're going to have to drift on to other films, but yeah. So yes, lots of information and stuff. Garvin Dryce, the old man apparently. Yeah, I don't know. He was obviously in a film at one point, but yeah, they didn't really name him, but there we go. There we go, we're going on through that, the Battle of Yavin. And then, hopefully, if I can turn the one page at a time, turning one page is useful. I can turn several pages at once, but that doesn't really help. There we go. Right, we are back on the lower port engine. Now, this is another sort of standalone issue. You don't need any of the previous assemblies. We are just checking to make sure I've got what I think I've got. We've got the big bit, and the tray of little bits. Now, with these little bits, be careful that you don't lose any, because static cling to the tray can mean that they fly out and get lost. So I'm going to leave them in the tray for now, except for that bit, which is obviously that one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those. So I'm happy to keep those in the tray for now, and we'll be fitting them in place momentarily. First up, we are assembling the engine. We need the brown bits. The outside brown bit goes around the outside of that tube. That just clips in place, just like that. There we go. This is all duplication of what we did with the first engine, so it shouldn't be difficult to do. I'm not saying that I'm going to remember what I've done, but equally, you know, it shouldn't be too difficult. Got to make sure those line up on the pins there, like that. So there we have the interior piece of half of the engine. Now the main part of this build is obviously the outside part of the engine. So what does it say? It says take the 9 plant and details, put them in there, press A, put in part B, finish putting in part B, and then do the rest of the bits. So we have the convenient 2 pictures down the bottom here showing what it's going to look like afterwards, what it looks like before, but with the little shaded areas showing you where each bits go, and telling you obviously what each bit looks like. So what we're going to do is put that down there on the finished one. I'm going to do these. I'll do them in the correct order, not that I think it matters, but so we're going to start with A, and A goes there, which is obviously just there. I'm assuming they give them to you in the right order that makes it easy to do without bits sort of having to bend round and go over the top of other pieces. So B is this bit, which goes over and around that, just like that. These are all good tight fit. You don't need to worry too much about having to glue them in place or anything like that. Right, let's see. C is the one of those that's only got 3 legs. Looks a bit like that. So yeah, and C is across the top there. You may find tweezers easier to sort of pick up and manhandle some of these bits. You may not. You can't get the same feel for delicate stuff using tweezers, so it's probably easier to use a combination of using tweezers and using your actual fingers to feel when something's being pushed in place correctly, or when it's off to one side and not going where it needs to be. So just do it the way you feel comfortable doing it. That's that. E is the big bit, the big curly bit. A, B, C, D, E is over there by the looks of it. Yep, so that goes right. So we've got 2 holes and then this bit. So there you go, that's on that bit there, around there, and 1 extra hole around the side. Nice. F is the other straight bit that we haven't used yet, and goes along the back there. The final 2 holes of that, yep. There we go. G is the funny Y-shaped bit, which goes just next to that. There we go. H is the tiny little bit that will ping if you're not very careful, and that goes just on the end there. There you go. Nice. And finally, the biggest part of all, I goes into pretty much all of the other holes that you've got set up and ready to accept it. That in there, that in there, that in there, and those two right on the end. The one thing to watch out with these is the holes all go straight down. It's not straight towards the centre, except for that one. So these bits that are off to the edges, you're still pushing them straight down onto the table rather than into the middle of the piece. So be aware of that if you are building this along with me. There we go. Nothing left in there, so I can get rid of that. That is that part completed. Obviously next time we're going to be doing some more with that. And looking at the back, we just have a nice X-ring blurry shot. So yep, that's that. Right, I shall put that aside. I do have one more issue. One final issue has been delivered this month. So the next part, 26, will be coming very soon, probably the next day or so. Just remains for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying the build as much as I am. Although it seems to be sort of, you know, going over. You could just watch, I don't know, issue 16 or whatever issue that was that I did this previously, but yeah, it's all a little bit different. There are some changes, so keep watching. I shall see you soon for the next issue. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.